I'm Latta with La Maison Rebelle, and today we're lucky enough that we've got Brooks Nielsen of the Growlers, and he's invited us down to his pop-up shop in downtown LA. Can you tell us a little bit about what's going on?
Welcome. Another Growler creation, just very little time and everything we can muster, and really kind of winging it, but it's, I think it's a nice graduated version of the parties we've always thrown, but it's cool we're doing it across the street from the festival we're going to be playing, and just kind of hyping up the big show.
Yeah, it's got kind of a festival feel outside, but then with artwork, and it's all the artwork from you guys or artists you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's all really tightly connected. It's Taylor Bonin, who's been with us for years, photographing us, living with us, tour managing, just a really best friend, and some art from Chris Hitchcock, who's been doing, a childhood friend of ours, who's been doing all of the wood building and painting and prop making for all of our shows and festivals for Beach Goth since the beginning, and Lizzie, who's the newest addition, Lizzie and Mason, who have been doing the stuff you've been seeing most recently, the ghouls and skeletons that have been become the more polished version of our Growlers art, Beach Goth art.
Yeah, it seems a really strong part of your imagery now.
Yeah, I think we fought really hard to get it, so now that we have it back, it's like, all right, this is mine, and let's make it clear. I think part of the pop-up, it kind of feels museum-like. I wanted to bring some old stuff to show like how obvious it was this is our thing, even if we treated it as an inside joke, kind of a rejection of our band name, being like, oh, we're tired of saying the Growlers, this is Beach Goth, almost making fun of the whole thing. Nonetheless, it is ours, and when someone tries to sue you and take it away from you,
can you tell us?
Now I actually miss it and claim it.
Can you tell us a little bit about that, like how the name got taken away from you to begin with, because it was your thing?
I mean, yeah, I can, and I can just get really into it, and I can get really pissed off and amped up.
I don't want to set
you know what I mean? But I'm just like, I'm like, I want to talk about, we're just creating art. We just made a record, and we have a festival and all this stuff. I mean, but, bottom line, I think when you're being creative in the industry, there's differences in power, and you can be, I don't regret what happened. I'm actually glad because it got me away from somebody that I think was just a bad person.
So it's one of those things that turned out.
So yeah, I think he sued us, but I think it was for the better because we got away from someone that could be, I think evil, and I just want to, be away from that stuff. So I'm glad to be away from it. What happened? Some guy saw that what we have is worth money, and he tried to take it and run with it, and it is worth money, and but it's also worth fighting for, because
well, it's yours.
Yeah.
It's your baby.
Well, it's like, and more than that, it's not even ours. It's like, it's at this point, this is everybody's, So it's like, one guy taking it for him is just wrong, because he's taking it from. If he takes it from me or the Growlers, he's taken away from everyone getting to be able to party with us,
Because you guys have been going since 2006. Have you always known that you were meant to be in music and the art world, or did it just sort of happen naturally?
Yeah, I don't think I ever did. I don't think I knew, but I think I had a calling for being a leader of my friends,
So it wasn't.
So when they needed something to do, or somewhere to go, or somewhere to party, I was the guy that kind of coordinating and leading it. So I think it was more of someone just good at getting people to get out of their comfort zone, and do something weird and interesting. And I was just kind of curating all my friends to do more than they would have done without me being interested in it. So there's more of that, and then somewhere along the lines I had to fill roles that couldn't get done. Like, okay, I'll draw something, or I'll write it, I'll sing it. I'll find a place we can record, I'll find a place we can party, and just kind of keeping it going. That's the hardest thing for bands, I think it's hard for bands to stick together. It's hard for bands to work through all that side of it. It's not exactly fun. When you're like, wait, am I in a business? So being in a band, oh, it is a business.
Yeah,
you hate to say that and think about that, but I'm fine with it. It's just, you know, push through that, and then you're able to do stuff that is fun and creative. I don't miss digging ditches and scrubbing floors, you know.
Well, it's interesting that you've taken on this role, because some people have that real drive from childhood, like this is what I'm going to be, but it sort of seemed just to fall into place for you out of necessity.
Yeah, I don't know. I still find myself, I think I'm an introverted person, and I thought I was when I was young, and I think the one thing is I never believed when someone told me, and my parents never told me that I had to be something, that you had to do it now. It wasn't this, I have to become this, do this impression and be this person right then. I just had to find something I liked to just be really dedicated to. You know, I found myself working a lot harder when it was for me to make rent than it was for, you know, to make some person I don't know happy, or, you know, even working for the family was, you know, my heart wasn't in it. Now, you know, I enjoy the responsibility to kind of take on this gigantic family of music.
It does seem like a real family affair. You created your own family out of the Growlers.
Yeah, and even old family comes out of the woodwork.
Oh, really?
Hey, I just heard you guys, what's up? And that's cool too, you know? I'm like, oh shit.
Well, that's a nice reaction to be getting, surely.
Yeah, for sure. It's all too much and all overwhelming and all psychotic, and that's the whole point. You're trying to control chaos, but you know, only so much. If you completely control it, then it ain't gonna be art.
No, I guess not. And so how did you come up with the name The Growlers?
We were funny names. We were Heebie-Jeebies, the Heebie-Jeebies, Blooming Boom, some other goofy names, and it kept kind of changing, and we weren't all too serious about it. And I think the only reason it stuck is because someone finally approached us and was like, hey, now that you know, the name that you have currently, do you want to put out some records? And at the time, that's what the name was. But Growlers is like a term our old like surfer dads used to like talk in this language we didn't understand, and they'd be like, oh, I'm gonna go take a growler. I'm like, what is that? Oh, they're taking a shit or something? And I think, yeah.
Is that what that means?
Yeah, it's something greatest.
It means something totally different in England, by the way.
Yeah, I know, it's not so much better, but yeah.
You know that?
Yeah, we've been hearing that for years. Like, you wanna come over and work with us in England, you're gonna have to change that name. It's not the best name for you. We're like, whatever.
I think stick with it, it works.
Yeah.
You might get a whole different audience.
Taking a shit, there's some gang things, there's England talking about vaginas, there's many different things, but
yeah, I guess Growlers are beaver.
I think I'd love to always change it, and we always wanted to, and I think people around us that, you know, we're industry, like, you don't do that, you don't change the name.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter with the name. You get to make new names all the time. Name your album, name your price, or
name your price. So you have a very unique sort of nostalgic California sound with hints of country, reggae, disco, even a bit thrown in there, some Motown. What is it initially that inspired you when you were first making music?
I didn't really even care about music. I was inspired by friends. I think
that's a kind of a really different take on.
Yeah, I was really slow to it, and I never really became that into it. I don't have like I'm like, this is my favorite song, my favorite album. I just don't really listen to music that way, because I don't put a whole lot of faith in the musician himself. I really don't think they're all that special. It's really not that difficult. It's like anything you do, you just try it. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes it takes a lot of skill, sometimes it takes a lot of time.
You don't buy into this old
some people are very natural, you know, and some people you have to really work for it. And yeah, there's been geniuses and all that, but I don't really care. And you know, and I don't really care for someone to say that I am or I'm so great either. Because I know the process. It's not like that. Most of the time when you write something really great, you don't even know how the hell it happened. It just like came through you. You know what I mean? Really? It wasn't even like, oh, let me tell you about how genius this idea was. It came to me when I was in the shower.
A concept didn't arrive with you. It's
actually like it just flows, and I'm like, oh, I kind of blacked out for a second, like the way when you're driving a car and you forget.
You just did it on autopilot.
Yeah, and one day it'll go away, and I'm like, can you do it again? Like, nope.
Do you think you'll run out of those moments?
I think so, but I'll find them in something else. Like, I'm way more interested in my kid right now than music or like any of this band stuff. And when I'm running around doing all this stuff all day, I'm like, oh, why am I doing this? We should go to the park, dude. We should go surf. Like, what the hell are we doing?
You don't have aspirations for him to be in music?
Well, I don't know. We'll see. If he gets some amazing luck and gets some engineering mind or some kind of scientific thing going on. But I mean, hey, if he's like me, I think it's kind of the calling for me to be in the art world.
Yeah, speaking of that kind of take on it, rather than an artistic take, rather than just a musical take, do you, as you're writing music or as you're writing lyrics, do you sort of animate them in your head, or is it just the words appear?
I start with one simple idea and kind of just get really critical of myself. I mean, if you're gonna make art, you can't be too critical and nothing will come out. But I just beat myself up for a while. Is that cool? Does it make sense? Oh, there's a deeper meaning. Oh, this actually makes sense with right now. And this is about somebody directly next to me. How do I make it so they can't tell?
Oh yeah, you've got to.
I mean, a lot of the music is about people, directly close to me, and then I just gotta make it a little poetic so they can't tell I'm talking about.
Bit of witness protection.
And then when they ask me, then I deny it. And then
has anyone ever confronted you about it or been annoyed?
Yeah, but whatever. If the song's good enough, then it doesn't really matter. And if time passes, some of those people aren't even in my life anymore. And then I rehear the song and it's like, oh, that's right, little fuckers.
Yeah, you knew all along, see? So you've released 6 albums so far, is that right?
It's hard to say. I don't know what really...
You don't know how many albums?
No, I don't know, because I guess officially released, maybe that's right, but there's
a lot more kicking about than 6.
There's a lot more stuff. It's confusing.
So the latest one is Casual Acquaintances. Is there one that you're most proud of, or is it just the most recent?
No.
You're not sentimental about?
Recent. No. I mean, I can nitpick and be like, oh, I was really proud of the band at this time. Or I might be more proud about all the scenarios going around at the time that we were able to pull off a record. Right? The record process is what it is, and I don't really know, and I don't have full control, and I have a vision, and I want it to work a certain way, but you're working with other people, so you have to kind of let them do their thing, it's all a learning process. I was more of an asshole early on, just because I was afraid and I wanted control, and I was so worried because we're so poor. You're like, oh, you only have this much time and money.
It's more a mistake,
now I've chilled out, but I'm still, the things I'm proud of aren't like my capabilities, or like, oh, I did such a great job on the song. It's more like, damn, we did that while we were getting our asses sewed off.
You pulled it off.
Multiple people are having children, a bunch of alcoholics in a room, and we had no idea what was going on. I'm working with a producer you don't even know, and losing members and friends with drug addictions, like all the life outside of it, then I'm proud of pulling it off.
Personal struggles.
But the record as it is, Matt and I go, we pour ourselves out for as much as we can, we talk shit to each other, hopefully we don't kill each other, and then we share it with the band and we try and pull it off in a small amount of time. There's not a whole lot to it. People like to listen to stuff and go, oh, this is the new Growlers, the old Growlers, but it's always been that simple. It's just 2 guys going, we have to do this for everybody. Don't be mad if someone's not here and they get to enjoy their lives. This is what we do. We have to sit together, even though we don't want to right now sometimes, and we have to go play through it. There's a mutual respect and there's an obligation, and through it, it's not an easy, fun process all the time, but it's rewarding and there is fun moments, and
do you feel a level of responsibility for the other people that are in the band?
If this didn't stop tomorrow, I'd feel terrible. There's a lot of people that get to live through us, as far as getting paid, that I appreciate so much and make our lives easier. There's also people that just get to have fun, and if I walk outside right now, all of our fans are here. I could talk to someone, they'll tell me, individual stories of how we help them. So
I think that's a big thing from your shows. Your band has the reputation of being very involved in your fans, and they go crazy. Like, it's a insane, intense experience. Have you ever had one particularly like crazy fan experience, or?
I mean, I think a lot when we were younger, when I was stupid enough to be like kind of exposing myself, but it's a dangerous thing. You never know what's gonna happen, how people are gonna be. I'd love it to just be that easy, but it's exhausting enough as it is, putting yourself out there every night and going on the road and trying to make it to the next thing and all the things that are at stake. I can't really do that anymore. But yeah, there's plenty of times when we were younger that we just completely, I don't know why we didn't go to jail. I don't know why.
You got away with it.
Yeah, it just somehow worked. Because I think it was mostly positive energy. Even if people were really freaky, like at least it wasn't like, I'm not making devil music. It's like, or if I am, it's
no, people just seemed really excited to be there and to be part of something.
Yeah, we've been lucky, and we've been a little smart too. We're learning. It's like you can't just completely put your up. There's a time when we were going around completely wasted and open and poor as you could be on the road without registration, insurance, or a pink slip.
Driving
school buses 80 miles an hour in our underwear across the country, and showing up and just wreaking havoc. Like we were, never mean or never bad, but just completely clueless and winging it, and gotten a little better.
You've toured the world quite extensively. Is there anywhere in particular that's a favourite place to go, or that the fans it's a particularly incredible crowd?
It's hard because it's been so long. It's like it's a blur, right? I think I never wanted to travel, and once I did, I really was slow to really falling in love with a place, which is good.
Yeah.
I think it's easy to fall in love with a place if you know somebody that lives there. You have a guide. You're like, oh shit, that's how you know LA.
Yeah.
You're not gonna come to LA and go, I'm in Hollywood, it's beautiful. No, it smells like piss. And then you're in, I'm in Santa Monica, I'm at the beach. Like, that ain't the beach. Like, you have to kind of know things, so that makes it more difficult. And then when you're really working hard and you're gone for too long, you're like, oh, my favorite place to be is home.
Yeah.
When you're far away, I can't wait to be home. But other than that, just beautiful spots. But I don't know if I can give it up to one spot for that. I think the most excited I ever was when I had like good moments when I first went to Mexico City. I just only grew up going to Mexico so much when I was a child in the desert. To finally go down, I was like, oh my God, it's massive and this labyrinth and tropical and humid and what the hell, like many different things, and ancient, and I think that was the first place I was really blown away by. And it was still wild and scary too. So that's the first place. But
and so now home life must be more important because you have your beautiful son, and you've got, is it right, a baby girl on the way?
Baby girl, and I think it's making me spend more time with the wife and realizing how important she is to me, and she's like this ghost artist, like a shadow artist. She basically, gets to exert her artistic process through me, and I'm starting to realize more like, holy shit, she's been doing this forever. She's been kind of channeling it through me, and now that I'm like with her and she's not competing with me wildly the way we used to party, and she's just like this glowing energy, it's all feeling really good. I'm like, oh shit, I really, through all that blackout of a life, I've scored somebody really well. It's really good for me.
That's really beautiful.
And pushing me in the right direction.
Do you have any idea for baby names?
No.
Anyone want to suggest in the comments, maybe?
Yeah.
Get some tips for babies.
She's down. She's into it. She's definitely not freaky about names, so it's cool. We don't need one right now. We'll see. But our list is looking pretty honky right now. It's like a lot of old white lady names.
Oh, Mildred.
Yeah, Mildred's on there.
Mildred's on the top of the list. I love an old school name.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I'm so glad that you sat down to talk with us. We really appreciate everything that you do and that you're unique and wild and don't really give a fuck. And so, yeah, thanks so much for talking to us.
It's been a pleasure. You guys are good people. You're going to make cool stuff too.
Yeah.
Be a part of it.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.